Go live. Bum, bum, bum. Hey, everybody. Hello, Clubhouse. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Instagram. As I put in the the title for tonight. Yes, I usually broadcast on Mondays. However, yesterday, in observance of Juneteenth, your girl took the day off, and I don't feel bad about it. But we are back in business, okay? So we are going to get started at Have Boston Flavors. We're going to get started at 8:05. So, just get comfortable, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you need to make you feel comfortable, okay? Grab that. And so tonight's show is going to be kind of short. There were just not a lot of stories this week. I don't know if, corporate America is on vacation or hey, psych sis, or if, the, what you call it, the market has them slowing down. They're just trying to stop the bleeding. But there was a serious lack of stories this week. So what we're going to do is when we're done with these stories, we're going to do a recap of the second quarter. We are coming to the end of June, and we're about halfway through the year. So I want to go over what we've gone through from since April. So that's basically going to be our entire intellectual property series. So we're going to talk about trademarks, copyrights, and patents. As long as you guys have questions, okay? So why are you doing this to me? All right, you know what? We're just going to leave that there. All right, so we're getting started in just a couple of minutes. Hey, Andrea 9474. Yes, hope you guys are feeling good. I hope you enjoyed your Juneteenth. All right. Let me go over here to StreamYard, see who's hanging out with us on the StreamYard. Yes, what time is it? 8:03. So we've got 2 more minutes. Grab some water, y'all. Water, snacks, something to record your thoughts or your questions. I have a comment here. Oh, Kiara Marie, you said you're trying to publish your book. Okay, so you're going to want to wait till the end of our stories because you're going to be interested in copywriting, okay? All right. For those of you on Clubhouse, if you want to view the if you want to participate in the video version of this broadcast, you can join me on Instagram at NPL Consulting Firm, or on Facebook at NPL Consult, or on YouTube at NPL Consulting. Hey, Psych Sis, Psych Sis said happy Tuesday. Hope your week is going by quickly as well. Oh, thank you. It is it feels like Wednesday. Okay. All right. So we are getting started very shortly, in less than a minute. I got all this stuff on my desk. I just got back in from a nice walk with my exercise buddy. So you girls, I got the blood flowing. I'm ready. Y'all ready? Is you ready? Is y'all ready? There's some Migos song. It's called "Is You Ready" or whatever. I love that song. Anyway, today we're talking about Shein. I know y'all know what Shein is. We're talking about Paul McCartney, and the title of the show, King of the Idiots. I'm going to tell you why. Hello, Troy Tania. All right. Okay, it is 8:05, so let's get started, okay? Welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my usually Monday broadcast, but today it's on Tuesday, where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. All right. If you're wondering who I am, who is this lady that I am either listening to or watching, I am Natalie Pierre Lewis. I am the host of the show, and I'm the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. Things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation, making sure you have your DUNS numbers and EIN numbers. Making sure that you have contracts for clients and partners so you don't get left holding the bag, and also helping you secure your intellectual property, like my friend Kiata wants to do. She wants to publish a book, so helping you guys with your copyrights, your trademarks, and your patents. Well, preliminary patents. I'm not a patent attorney, but I can get you the basics and point you in the right direction. All right. I also help you with your hiring and training strategy so you don't get sued for discrimination. Okay. So I'm here to get you in order. Why do you need all of this stuff? Right? Why do I do this? And why am I qualified to do this, right? I'm qualified because I have been an attorney for over 16 years. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I'm very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be successful, there are just some things that you're going to need to know. There's no way around it. So that is why I am here. Okay. So if you are in the startup phase of your business and you just don't know where to start, or if you've been in business for a little bit and you're like, you know what, I need to make myself legit, or you've been in business for a long time and you still need to get legit, okay? I want to help you. So reach out to your girl. How are you going to do that? You're going to go to Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. There you will be able to book a free 15-minute consultation if you are a first-time client. You will also be able to download my free Biz Launch cheat sheet, which will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. I'm not kidding about this, guys. I've had people literally write me and say, hey, I downloaded your Biz Launch cheat sheet, and I've got my articles of incorporation. My business is set up in my state. So I'm telling you, it works. All right. Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm is also where you can get my digital products, my video trainings, and my ebooks, as well as subscribe to my other social media handles on various platforms. Okay. So anything you want having to do with NPL Legal Dish, or NPL Consulting, I should say, you can get at Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. All right. Now, to the reason why we are here, this show, NPL Legal Dish, just in case we have people who don't know what the show is about. So I take stories from the news, stories from blog sites, stories that you lovely people send to me. And I pull the stories that have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and we talk about them. Okay. So this is a time for you to get involved. This is a time for you to ask your questions and give your comments, as long as they're respectful. My friends on Clubhouse, you have the option of either coming on the stage and speaking, or you can just write your comments in the chat box. My friends on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, you know the deal. All right. And then, like I said, we are short on stories today. So after our stories, we are going to go into a brief review of our Q2, which was our intellectual property unit on trademarks, copyrights, and patents. Okay. All right. So I think I have gone over all of the housekeeping issues. Yes. Okay. So we can get started now. If we are ready to get started, I want to see some star emojis. Give me some star emojis in the comments so I know that you guys are with me. Okay, whether you're on Clubhouse or Facebook or Instagram, or where else am I broadcasting, or YouTube, give me a star emoji so I know that everybody is with me. Unless you're driving, okay? I will not be held responsible for any vehicular accidents. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for the star, psych, sis. You are awesome. Okay, let's get to our first story. How many of y'all have ever, I know you've heard of Shein, or Sheen as I've heard it pronounced, but how many of you have ever ordered anything from Shein? If you have ever ordered anything from Shein, give me some type of shopping or clothing emoji. Give me a shopping emoji because I mean you can get more than clothes on Shein. But if you have ever purchased anything from Shein, um, please give me some type of shopping emoji in the comments. Okay. And while you do that, I also want you guys to tell me, why do you think Shein is so popular? Why is it so popular that they are willing to give? Obviously, I've been seeing this ad of $750 worth of Shein clothes, right? So if you have ever shopped at Shein, give me a shopping emoji. And even if you haven't shopped at Shein, why do you think Shein is so popular? Thank you, Psych Sis, for the money symbols. Okay, so Psych Sis, you have shopped at Shein. Why do you think Shein is so popular? Hmm. Why Shein? Because they said that Shein, they outsell Amazon when it comes to clothes. So they're bigger than Amazon when it comes to the clothing department. All right. So, Psych Sis, because you gave me the money bags, girl. You on the spot now. All right. But while you guys tell me why people may or may not shop at Shein. People shop at Shein because you can get contemporary, fashionable clothes for very cheap, right? You can get, like, I've gone on there. They have dresses and things you can get for $5, $3, and they don't just have clothes. Apparently, they also sell artwork, right? And Shein is being is being sued by a Jacksonville artist, because of the art that they've been selling. Now, this is Shein has been accused of copyright infringement before, just like Fashion Nova. And oh, hold on, Sykes gave me an answer. Quick and cheap, but they have accessories and so much more. Okay, so Shein is like a very low cost way to beef up the wardrobe or beef up the jewelry, whatever you want, right? But that comes at a cost. There have been lots of stories where people have accused Shein of stealing their ideas, whether they be fashion ideas, dresses, things like that. And we have a case here of an artist who is suing Shein for selling her art without permission. There is a woman who her name is Magdalena Mollyman, okay? And her professional name is Maggie Stevens. She is a freelance artist operating out of Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Miss Magdalena, she has been taking pictures for a while. Her pictures are copyrighted, and she has, designated, um, designated distributors of her work, such as Sephora, Urban Outfitters, Elle Magazine, and HarperCollins Publications. So if you want artwork by Magdalena Mollyman, you can get them from these big names. These are this is not small time to get your stuff into Sephora, Urban Outfitters, and stuff like that. Elle Magazine, you got to be doing something right. And with these authorized distributors, Magdalena authorizes them to sell her artwork for anywhere between $19 and $300 per piece, right? Well, Magdalena is now saying that Shein has been selling unauthorized prints of her work on their website for as low as $4. Magdalena says that Shein basically went to her Instagram, and a lot of the artwork that she produced and posted on Instagram from 2019 to 2021 has appeared on Shein's website for sale for much less than even her lowest cost, right? So, Miss Magdalena, as a smart artist, she didn't just paint her artwork. She didn't just make her artwork. She legally copyrighted it. She went to the copyright website, and she got the legal protection for her artwork so that she could say what happens to it, right? So Miss Magdalena, she has her certificates of registration, and now she is suing Shein for $100 million. Okay, she's suing for something like $50,000 per piece or whatever, or how much they sold. But Magdalena wants Shein to run her $100 million for copyright infringement. Okay. Now, first things first. Do you think that Magdalena is going to get $100,000 from Shein? If you think Magdalena will get $100,000, I mean not 100,000, $100 million, I should say. If you think she's going to get 100 mil, give me a thumbs up. If you think she's not going to get 100 mil, give me a thumbs down. Okay. Magdalena is suing Shein for selling reprints of her copyrighted artwork, and she wants $100 million from Shein for violating her copyrights. Okay. If you think Magdalena is going to get 100 million, give me a thumbs up in the comments, or a thumbs down if you don't. Or if you're on Clubhouse and you want to come up and give me your 2 cents, raise your hand and I'll let you on stage. Don't be cussing on here. My mother listens. Okay. All right. Okay, while you guys get your answers in, I highly doubt that Magdalena is going to get $100 million, but she's also not. Sykes said definitely close to it if it goes to court. Really, you think she'll get close to $100 million? While I think she's going to get something, I don't think she's going to get that much. I think she'll be lucky to get a few million. And I think it's going to depend on how many pieces Shein sold, versus how much money she lost. Because if she can, show how many pieces of art Shein sold without her permission, right? She can then calculate how much money she lost because of Shein selling those prints, and then she can also ask for treble damages. What is treble damages? If you violate somebody's intellectual property like copyrights and stuff, and they can show that you did it with malice, the judge can award the victim 3 times their loss, because you were being a jerk and violating their intellectual property knowingly and willingly. So I don't know. I really don't think Magdalena's going to get 100 million, but depending on how much she sold, she could probably get a few million, right? And who can't use a few $1,000,000 here and there, right? And this is why it's important for you to protect your creations, your artwork. My friend over here, Kiata, who's trying to publish her book, right? Hi Casey Job Free. You don't want someone, let's say somebody, I don't know, steals your computer and publishes a book that you've been working on, and you didn't get it copyrighted. And the problem with not having your work copyrighted, it's not that you'll automatically lose, it's that you have to prove that it's your work. When you have your legal copyright, if you sue someone for copyright infringement, when you have that certificate of registration, you don't have to prove that this is your work and that you did it, because you already have that certificate of registration. But if you don't have your copyright, you also have to prove that you created this work that is being infringed upon. Okay. So regardless of whether Magdalena gets that $100 million or not, she is going to get something from Shein. And I know Shein got it because they be selling a lot of clothes. My sister be having bags coming to my parents' house all the time. But yeah. So good luck to Magdalena. And I'm sure that Shein will be sued promptly by, some other, retailer or artist. Okay. All right. Next story that we are talking about. How many of you is anybody here a fan of the Beatles or Paul McCartney? The Beatles or Paul McCartney? I realized when I was when was it? When Boyz II Men's second studio album came out, I remember I listened to that thing from front to back and I memorized it. And then I found out, I don't know how, but I found out that a lot of those songs were covers of Beatles songs, right? But the Beatles, they are a very influential group from the 60s. I think some of them have died. I know Paul McCartney's still alive. I don't know. Hey, Miss Whitney, I don't know if Ringo might still be around. Anyway, but Paul McCartney is like, uh, when it comes to the Beatles, Paul McCartney has really come out on top, right? Paul McCartney right now is worth 1.2 billion dollars, okay? 1.2 billion with a B. Paul McCartney from the Beatles is worth 1.2 million dollars. And that does not come from, touring or whatever, cuz Paul McCartney doesn't even really tour anymore. Um, Paul McCartney makes more than $80 million a year from royalties and publishing rights only. So, meaning whenever someone samples a song that was written by Paul McCartney, who also wrote most of the songs for the Beatles, they have to run Paul McCartney a piece of change. And a lot of the Beatles' music has been sampled, right? Not only that, Paul McCartney, he owns the publishing copyrights for a few other artists. So when their work is being published, he gets a check from that too, right? So Paul McCartney, when he started out with the Beatles, I'm sure they were not thinking about, oh, we're going to build this empire of copyrights and intellectual property. But because he was such a prolific writer and took the time to preserve his work, now and because his work is so widespread and covered by a lot of different people in a lot of different genres, Paul McCartney has checks coming in every which way, right? Remember that song, what was it? uh it was by Outkast. I think it was Miss Jackson, and they would talk about Paul McCartney having to pay his wife all this money in their divorce settlement. That's because Linda McCartney, she was with Paul when he was writing all those songs, right? And she became accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So Linda McCartney gets a piece of those royalties as well, because she was married to Paul McCartney for so long. But regardless of how much she's getting, Paul McCartney is still a billionaire out here, and he doesn't have to do another thing in his life. He literally just has to collect his royalties because he took the time to protect his intellectual property. So good for him. Okay. Let me get a quick sip of water. We've got one more story, and then we're going to do our review and Q&A. Okay. Okay. Um, our last story. How many of you guys here are into board games or card games? Like, if there's a game night, you're there. If you're a game person, board games or card games, give me some type of game emoji. Okay. If you like to play board games, when I was in college with my friends, literally for 2 years straight, it was like 7 of us. We would play Uno, Pictionary, Categories, Taboo, like every night. Okay. Um, what else did we play? Yes, Categories, Pictionary, Uno, Taboo. Yeah, that was it. Those were the main ones. Every now and then we try something new, but we had our stable of games. Nobody here likes board games. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, whether or not you're into board games or card games, have you ever heard of a game called You're an Idiot or You Must Be an Idiot? If you have heard of the games You're an Idiot or You Must Be an Idiot, give me an eye emoji. Give me that single eye emoji. If you haven't heard of it, just give me like a no in the comments, okay? So while you do that, this is the case of whether two things can coexist. Are they different enough? Miss Whitney, you've heard of, which one have you heard of? You're an idiot or You Must Be an Idiot? Which one have you heard of? Let me know. Okay, yeah, Miss Whitney, you like games. Okay. While Miss Whitney lets us know which one she knows about. So in the beginning. First, there was a board game called, oh, you've heard of both? Okay. There is a board game called You Must Be an Idiot. Okay. It's a board game. So you have pieces, and cards and things, and there's a whole board, of course, because it's a board game, and you play, whatever. There is also a card game called You're an Idiot. Okay. Do you think that these two games were made by the same company? If you heard the name You're an Idiot card game and You Must Be an Idiot board game, would you think that these two games were made by the same company? If you're on Clubhouse, feel free to write in the chat box or come up on stage. Miss Whitney, you wouldn't think that those two games were made by the same company. You're an Idiot and You Must Be an Idiot. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Miss Whitney is saying no, she wouldn't think that they were made by the same company, but the trademark board did not agree. The makers of the board game You Must Be an Idiot sued the creators of the card game You're an Idiot, or not sued, but opposed their trademark application. The card game people, they were like, hey, it's not the same name as the board game, and it's a card game. So Miss Whitney said someone stole it. Okay. Well, the what do you call it? The trademark board, when they heard this argument that because the words aren't exact, they considered it, and they canceled the card game's trademark. They said, look, You're an Idiot card game, yes, the name isn't exactly like the board game, but it begins with you and ends in idiot. The average person is not, it will probably think that these two games are related to each other. Plus, they are in the games category, right? So the trademark board basically denied the card game company's trademark application for You're an Idiot. Now, I don't know what the purpose of these games are. I have never played them myself. But for me, if I heard You're an Idiot and You Must Be an Idiot, I would think that someone is talking about the same game. And even when I looked at the packaging, yes, the packaging is different, but I do feel like the color scheme is similar. So I think that the trademark office got it right. But the point of this is, when you are trying to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, you like or build your brand in the marketplace, you don't want to build it on another brand's back. You don't want to sound like nobody else. The whole point of a trademark is to be unique in your industry, right? That's why you're not going to find two Snickers bars by two different companies in the candy aisle. It's why you're not going to find, Tide, two different companies making Tide laundry detergent. A trademark is supposed to make you unique in the marketplace. And to have a card game called You're an Idiot and a board game called You Must Be an Idiot, it's too close, and the industries are too close, and the names are too close. So the trademark board said no. Okay. And I think they got it right. Does anybody think that the trademark board got it wrong? Does anybody think that the card game should have been allowed to trademark the name? If you do, let me know. Let me know and tell me why. Okay. Sometimes, like, it doesn't take much to differentiate your trademarks, but you have to put some effort into it, right? Like, I remember we covered this story not too long ago where a guy very obviously used the North Face logo as the inspiration for his brand called the Trap Face, or the Trap House or whatever. And he was like, no, I thought of this, I made it up myself, whatever. But everybody knows what the North Face logo looks like. So even though it was a little different and the name was a little different, they were like, no, this is too similar. And you guys are both making clothes. So they can, so they did not allow him to trademark it. Okay. All right. So let me know your thoughts on that. But that is actually the end of our stories right now. So what we're going to do for the next few minutes is we're going to do a Q2 review to cover what we've been talking about, because it all kind of blends together. For the last 3 months, I've been teaching you guys about intellectual property. In April, we started trademarks. In May, we did copyrights, and this month we have been doing patents. So we are just going to do a review of all of those very briefly. I'm going to be doing an intensive intellectual property webinar in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that if you're on my email list. If you're not on my email list, make sure you download the BizLaunch cheat sheet so you can know when that seminar is coming out. Go to Linktree/MPL Consulting Firm. Okay. So, very quickly before I take your questions, we're going to talk about what the 3 intellectual properties are and how they work. Right. So, a trademark is when you have a symbol, a name, a slogan, a photo, a sound that represents your brand in the marketplace. Okay. You can trademark names, you can trademark sounds, you can trademark you can trademark uh I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now, but I don't have my books in front of me. Anyway, your trademark, it represents your brand in the marketplace. So if you think about the NBC chime, if you think about, Beyonce's name is trademark because it's unique. Excuse me. The McDonald's logo, a trademark, it differentiates you in the marketplace, and it's only in your industry, right? So if think about the golden arches for McDonald's, right? That is a universally known symbol for fast food, but you do not see the golden arches in any other food industry, right? Now, McDonald's also dips into other areas of industry, so it would be very hard for someone to justify wanting to have, a golden arches logo. But if someone, maybe they had not golden arches, but I don't know, green arches, and they wanted to do a hair company, maybe that might be permissible. Okay, because it's different, and it's in a different industry. So your trademark, you want it to be unique and to represent your products in the marketplace. Think about the names that Apple, Tiffany's, Starbucks, right? When you hear those names, you automatically see the logo and you know what they do. So your trademark is there to protect your business. If you want to get a trademark, it has to be for a business purpose. You can't just trademark something just to trademark it, or because you don't want someone else to trademark it, right? You need to trademark it because you have a bona fide business venture, right? Because otherwise they're going to deny your application. Now, when you are filing your trademark application, you want to make sure that you have your specimens ready, right? After you do your initial application, it's going to take a while, but they're going to mail you back and they're going to say, "Hey, show me how you're going to use this trademark," and then you're going to send your specimens in, and then you get your final review. Now, there's a lot more that goes into trademarks, the different types of trademarks, the strong ones versus the weak ones, but that is going to be in the intensive webinar that is coming. So, again, make sure you're on the email list for that. Okay. Next, we talked about copyrights. And Kiata, you were saying that you want to publish your book. You're going to want to copyright it first. A copyright protects works of authorship, so things that you make in your head. So a book, a song, choreography, um, excuse me, mm, poetry. Um, what else? There are things I'm going through everything in my head right now, so it's gonna be quick. It's not going to be super detailed, but copyrights protect the things that you make with your imagination, with your brain. Okay, and copyrights they allow you to say not only I own this, but it gives you the right to say who can do what with your work, right? It lets you say, you can sell my stuff, but you can't. You can, put this up here, but you can't. So copyrights basically are the legal equivalent of you saying, uh, I made this. Okay. And then we have patents. This is for my inventors, for my people who like to tinker, for my people who, develop new processes, right? And there's patents for everything out there. But you have what we call utility patents, which are for, how something is used, or what it does for you. You have design patents, which is, when how your product looks is integral to how it works. So think about like the Monopoly board. Um, that is a patented design, because it is integral to how the Monopoly game works. And then you have plant patents. So when people, discover or create a new breed of plant, you can get a patent for that as well. Okay. Now, patents are a little pricey, but there is something that is called the provisional patent application. Let's say you're in the beginning stages of, getting your invention together, but you need some time. You can file a provisional patent application for $70, and that holds your place in line for a year while you get your invention together. Okay? So a patent protects your invention. So that was just a brief overview of what we have done for the last 3 months. It's very condensed, but that's on purpose, because one, I want to give you guys time for Q&A to ask me your questions about trademarks, copyrights, and patents, because I can tell you what I know all day, but I don't know what you don't know until you ask the question. Okay. And then also we're going to have that intensive webinar coming up soon. So now this is your time. The lines are open. Thank you, Michelle. The lines are open. If you want to ask a question, now is your time to do it. Clubhouse, you can either raise your hand and I'll bring you on stage, or you can just ask your question in the chat box. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, this is your time. Michelle said she has a question. Hit it, Michelle. I'm ready. But I'm here for y'all for at least as was it 20, we can have up to 23 minutes, so it's up to y'all. I'm waiting for Michelle to put in her question. Guys, feel free to put your questions in the chat box as well. I'll answer it as soon as I'm done with the previous question. If we don't have questions, what is that noise? Oh, that must be the AC. Okay. If we don't have questions after Michelle's, then we'll call it a night for tonight, and we will reconvene next week, hopefully with more stories. I'm waiting for Michelle to put her question in. I'm waiting for y'all. Okay, Michelle says, I write short stories on Instagram so potential customers can get to know me. It has become popular. Oh, you can get captions copyrighted now. There is you definitely can. You can definitely do that, Michelle, because it is a short written work. But there have recently been changes to copyright law that allow you to copyright your Instagram captions, as long as they are, substantial. It can't just be 2 words. But if you're doing this, if you're writing short stories on Instagram, yes, you can copyright them. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you're not invested in your Instagram captions, then you don't have to. But if you're someone like Michelle who's writing short stories on Instagram, it may be worth it. Michelle asks, is it expensive? Copyrights are about $65 a piece. So if it's so you have to think about, is the thing that you want to copyright, is it worth it to you? Is it worth the $65? And you have to think about for trademarks and patents too, right? Is your trademark worth it? Are you going to want to change your trademark in a couple of years? Because a trademark costs you at least a few at least $500 to $600 if you do it by yourself, and it's going to cost you at least 15 to 2,000 depending on the attorney that you go to. All right. And patents are, I think it was like $700 something. Patents aren't cheap as well. So when you are thinking about protecting your intellectual property, you also need to think financially, is this smart for me to protect? Is this something that I really want to invest in? Hi, that Brandon guy. Okay. Michelle, does that answer your questions? Does that answer your questions, my darling? Very good question. Because that's actually new. A client had contacted me last year because someone was stealing her Instagram captions, and she wanted to know how to protect it. And luckily for her, the law had recently changed so that she could protect it. Casey Jobfree asked, do trademarks last a lifetime or do they have to be renewed? Trademarks have to be renewed every 10 years, okay, and with continuous use. But also, let's say if let's say you have a trademark and you haven't used it in 5 years, somebody can go to the trademark office and apply for a cancellation for your trademark if you haven't used it in 5 years. So if you're uncontested, you can renew your trademark every 10 years. But if you are letting it lapse, if you're letting it sit there and you're not using it and somebody wants it, after 5 years, they have the right to go to the trademark office and ask for your trademark to be canceled. Okay. Great question, Casey Jobfree. Any other questions, my lovelies? I like this. Clubhouse, y'all are so quiet. And I know y'all be talking in the rooms. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Michelle said that's cheeky. It is cheeky, but it's like, but that's what happens. Like, especially now because the barrier to entry to business is so low. People are out here waiting to steal. I remember one of my first clients, he was telling me about a business idea he had, and he had the name for it. And him and his girlfriend, they went out to dinner with some quote unquote friends, and told them their business idea and the business name. And he went to go file the name the next week, and the supposed friend had already filed an application for that name. So it's protecting your work. It may seem like overkill, but in this climate of business, it's really important because everybody out here wants to start a business. But some people want to do it the right way, and some people just want to steal their way to the top. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay. What I will do is I will start to do to roll out my ending credits or whatever you want to call them. And if you have any other questions by the time I get to that, I will answer them. Okay. So for those of you, hey Cherry A76. So thank you to all of you who participated in tonight's broadcast. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for chiming in on the stories. I will be back next Monday with more stories. If you find anything that you want me to talk about, please send me a DM. I'm very responsive as well. Make sure that you are on my email list because I'm going to be coming out with that intensive it's going to be an intensive 1 to 2 hour webinar where we're going to go over the ins and outs of trademarks, copyrights, and patents. Okay. And it's going to be very affordable. It's going to be like $25 a person. So you're going to want to be on the list. There'll be a code for the 25 because if you don't got the code, it's going to be a little more. All right. Okay, so I think that we can end it there. Make sure you go to, again, linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. Get on the email list. I will be back next week with more stories. Check my social media for, you know, tips and things like that, and funny dancing for me. Apparently y'all like to see me dance because those are the posts that get the most attention. All right. So take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week. And I will talk to you later. Bye bye, everybody.